I did get canceled again. A lot of people are angry. CatDany, a lot of you guys probably don't know who that is. Most people don't. She used to be a streamer a long time ago, and ever since she fell off about 10 years ago, her entire existence on the internet has been dedicated to being hostile and negative about other people. And so she goes and she makes a tweet today about me. And so she goes, she's like, Asmongold hates himself more than we ever could, just like his lifestyle. There's nothing to be said, disgusting man. They could ever make him change his filthy, putrid ways. Just a real stinker. I respond back. I say, you're fat and you spend your life smoking weed and doing drugs. If anyone's a stinker, it's you. That's true. And I'm not insulting her. It's just this is just an observation. She is fat. And if you're fat, you sweat more. And if you sweat more, you're going to smell bad more. Why'd she even attack you? Because her entire existence of the internet is built off of complaining and talking shit about other people. Nobody likes her, and so the only thing that she can do to make people like her is hopefully make people dislike somebody else more than they dislike her. XQC said money is financial freedom, freedom having the ability to choose what you want to do as much as possible. Why are you mad that he lives the way that he wants to? You have a lot of money too, yet you are overweight and choose to smoke weed all the time. Respect people's choices, lady. CatDany has talked a lot of shit about me over the years. For a very, very long time, I've had the policy of not ever, like, responding back to people or saying things that are, like, mean back to people. We are getting rid of that policy. I'm bored of sitting here and being a punching bag, especially by clowns like this. An example of what CatDany did is that back whenever CatDany was not a completely irrelevant streamer, and she was using her cleavage on stream to attract views. This was in probably about 10 years ago. Guess what happened? Well, my ex-girlfriend Izzy, Pink Sparkles, came on, and everybody started watching her instead. Now, why did everybody start watching Pink Sparkles instead of CatDany? I think everybody knows why. So CatDany talked mad shit about Izzy constantly, perpetuated a lie that she was a view botter, and wouldn't back down on it for years until finally she got confronted recently and apologized in DMs to it to Izzy. This is like 2 years ago. The point is that I think CatDany is disgusting. She is a disgusting person. She fell off over 10 years ago, and the only relevance that she will ever have is being a bottom feeder and farming people that somehow hate another person more than they hate her. And to be honest, guys, I don't want to say anything more about it. Because the truth is that at the end of the day, I'm still me and she's still her. And that's worse than anything that I could ever say. CatDany under fire for liking tweet blaming Asmongold's lifestyle for his mom's death. Here we go. So I guess this is today.
That tweet, it says, thankfully XQC's lifestyle hasn't led directly to the death of one of his parents yet, so he has that going for him over Asmon at least. I'll admit, I did like that tweet, and I have a lack of respect for Asmongold after letting his mom with COPD live in those sort of conditions. I'm sorry. Like, you're a millionaire. You have all of the resources in the world. Why is your sick mother living like that? Like, I'll say it. I don't care. If that makes me a bad person,
okay.
Still miles above of Asmongold. Miles above Asmongold. I'm sorry. Like, I have literally a fraction of the income, and I take better care of my parents than that. And I don't have anywhere near close the resources that he does. I did like that.
Should take better care of yourself, and if that's the case. Now, I'm gonna be honest. This doesn't really offend me. It doesn't. And the reason why it doesn't really offend me is because I know that she doesn't know what she's talking about. She doesn't really know what she's saying. She's just saying this because I have said something to be mean to her. This does not hurt my feelings. This doesn't, like, get me upset. It's malicious, though. It is malicious. She's a disgusting person, and she always will be. I don't like attacking people. I only respond to people who attack me. I don't go out of my way and go and personally insult people or anything like this, but if they do it to me, I will do it back. I do genuinely believe that bad things do happen to bad people. And so whenever I see somebody saying this, I think it's just a matter of time. And whenever it inevitably happens, I will be there to laugh. Call me out if I am attacking somebody who didn't attack me. But I don't think that's going to happen a whole lot, you know, especially on a personal level. And also, by the way, obviously there was like a big conversation. And the reason why Casey Tron tweeted this out, there is a reason for it. Besides the fact that she probably needs impressions to make money. The other reason was because I had said on stream yesterday that I thought that standing in a road was not an effective way of protesting for Palestine. I thought this was counterproductive. I don't think it really helps anybody. Obviously, a lot of the Twitter revolutionaries love to, they love to act like, this is some big thing and they're, changing the world, etc. So there we go. You are not protesting for Palestine by preventing a minimum wage worker from getting to work on time. Get out of the road. That's what I said. And so obviously a lot of these people are, these are people who have no problems in life. These are people who live in first world countries, in the safest countries in the world, in the safest time in history, that are trying desperately to LARP as if they are anything even similar to the civil rights movement. You are not even 1% of what the civil rights movement was. You are standing in the street. You are harassing random people. You're not protesting injustice. You're protesting somebody going to McDonald's. Anytime that I see somebody do that, they don't actually believe that it's okay to break the law and protest. The only reason why they are saying it is because it's being said in a way, the protest is for something they agree with. They don't agree with the principle. They just want to get what they want, and they don't care how it happens. It's not breaking the law. You think that standing in the middle of the street and obstructing traffic isn't breaking the law? Why don't you go out there and do it and see what happens? Go ahead, go find out. Fuck around and find out. And at the end of the day, I will support any time that the police come and remove these people and or arrest them. A lot of people say it's the most effective way of protesting. Is that false? Is it the most effective way of protesting? I think that it can be if the focus of the protest can be linked directly to what they're protesting for. So, for example, and I think that sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. This is an example of it completely not being it. So, for example, with a lot of civil rights protests, they were protesting directly the laws. So, for example, it was like, you can't be at the front of the bus. So a person goes, like Rosa Parks sits at the front of the bus. It's not like people are just out there randomly causing riots and shit like that. Now, obviously that happened during civil rights, but I think the most powerful protests of civil rights, the ones that we remember, are the ones that were directly protesting the laws that they were protests for. And so, whenever you go and you stand in the road because of a war that's 6,000 miles away, and you block some random minimum wage worker from getting to work on time, and then you try to hijack that, you try to, kidnap their life because they don't have any empathy for your problem. Why the fuck would they have any empathy for your problems whenever you're the one who's ruining their life right now? They're trying to get to work. They can't get to work. They can't live their life. Why the fuck would they have any empathy for you? It doesn't even make sense. I have no problem with people protesting. And in fact, yesterday, and this is actually a pretty weird thing that's happened. I'll even say, this is going to really maybe upset people. But I'll say it right now. If I had to say which group I think is more wrong, I think Israel's more wrong. I'm more pro-Palestine than pro-Israel. That doesn't mean that Palestine hasn't done anything wrong, but I am. I just don't think you should stand in the road. No, that's true. Yeah, and I'm not saying, guys, this is not like a good guys and bad guys. I think they're both bad guys in a lot of ways. But especially, what do you call it? Like killing innocent people. I mean, there it is. I'm pro-America, fucking both. Sure, yeah, I understand that. But there has been a lot of, what do you call it? There has been a lot of conversations about this. Pro-Hamas idiots at UT discover what happens when you try to pull Colombia and Texas. And this is our governor here, Texas, my governor. Arrests being raided right now will continue until the crowd disperses. These protesters belong in jail. Anti-Semitism will not be tolerated in Texas, period. Students joining hate-filled anti-Semitic protests at any public college or university in Texas should be expelled. So I completely disagree with the governor here. I think that whenever I look at a lot of the videos of the UT protests, I think everybody is behaving in a generally law-abiding manner. I completely support those protests, and I think that our governor is totally fucking off base. I think that how is this not a First Amendment violation? And I understand some people might be getting a little bit of whiplash for this. They're like, oh, wait, I thought you said it's not, it's bad to protest. No. I support protesting. Absolutely. And as I said, I even support the majority of what this cause is for. Not all of it, but the majority of it. However, get out of the fucking road. Get out of the fucking road. Like, what are you doing? Is it possible a school doesn't want them to, so then they are trespassing? That's between the school and the government. And that doesn't have anything to do with them being protesters or not. Everybody has a right to decide why somebody is on their private property other than a discriminatory reason. So they have every right to make that decision. And imagine they're doing this to avoid having a school shut down like Columbia, though. People are paying money to attend their classes and learn. I don't think that they should try to shut down the school because that's infringing on other people's ability to go about their daily lives. I think that to the extent that people hijack something and then they say, basically, we are holding this hostage until you give us what we want. I feel like most people in the public at large doesn't respond well to a hostage situation. And at that point, like, Hamas or Israel is not the enemy, you are. You are the enemy right now. You are directly affecting negatively their life. So they're not going to be like, oh, wow, wait a second. These people are standing in the road. Holy shit, I hate Israel now. That's not happening. People see this, and if anything, it makes them fucking hate Palestine. Because every time they see Palestine, it's some dipshit that's standing in the middle of the fucking road. It's not even a question. It's so crazy and counterproductive, I don't even know what to say. And I think the reason why people do it is they think they have the moral authority to do so. And what I was trying to get at with posts like this is that these people don't really believe this. Because if they actually believed it, you would see them probably exercising this same type of discretion about, for example, January 6th, or for the Canada truckers protests. But these were the same people that were celebrating, maybe not this guy specifically, I don't want to shit on this guy specifically, but these were the same people that wanted to have the January 6th protesters. And let's be honest, in a lot of cases, insurrectionists put in jail. These people have no principles, they have no morals, they have no ethics, and the only thing they care about is getting what they want. And the funny and ironic thing about that is that's the reason they never will. Because nobody respects that. That's not the way you can build any sort of sympathy. You can't get anybody to be on your side if you're constantly trying to harass and hurt them if they don't immediately bow down to you and your ideology and take it as seriously as you do. The point of a nonviolent protest is to showcase the violence of the state. I think there's a lot of instances and reasons for that. But I would argue that obstructing cars and stopping people from driving is violence in itself. It might not be direct physical violence, but it is a violent action as you are obscuring somebody's, obstructing somebody's ability to move around. Hell no. Tell that to MLK. Okay. I saw a quote today. Let's see. I'll go ahead and I'll show you. Also, by the way, you're not Martin Luther King for standing in the road. Okay? You're never going to be. They're not going to write about this in the history books of, oh, wow, these brave students decided to stand in the middle of the road and they saved everybody. It's not going to be remembered. Nobody's going to care. But let's talk about Martin Luther King. I saw this on Twitter. I thought it was interesting. An organizer with King's Southern Christian Leadership Conference declared, "We will tie up public transportation by laying our bodies prostrate on the runways of airports across railroad tracks and bus depots. This degree of disorder was too much even for King, who walked back the staffer's comments." Wow. So yeah, let's listen to Martin Luther King. Great idea. This King actually wanted change, not to become a spectacle. Absolutely. And that's why he got it. That's why history will remember him. People have a weird perception of him. Okay, you outgotched him. Yes, I know. And this is the lack of education that the people that are doing this have. They don't really know what they're talking about. They're not actually educated in any of the topics that they believe in. They just feel a certain way, and then they work backwards to justify it. Why are people so emotionally invested in the situation topic? People are emotionally invested into it because everybody is on edge, because they're fed a constant, ever-increasing, higher pitched of emotionally driven news media in every single outlet they are, subscribing to. They go on Twitter, and it's emotionally charged political social rhetoric. They go on Reddit, it's emotionally charged political social rhetoric. You go on Twitch, look at me. You go on YouTube, same thing. And so people have done this to themselves. Thoughts on the UT Austin stuff? Yeah, sure. I completely support their right to protest. I think that they are protesting UT giving money or having some sort of investment in Israel. I think that it's totally fair for them to protest that, and they have every right to do that because of the First Amendment. Now, I don't really know enough about it to really think that I agree with it or not. And that's why I'm not really talking a lot about the specific UT thing, because I'm not sure what their actual specific problem that they have is. I haven't really looked into it, to be honest. But what I do know is that I don't see anybody really committing crime, and the instances of police officers, escorting people out who have committed crimes seem to be relatively respectful, and, there's not any real violence. It's happening on multiple campuses now. Well, if it's happening on multiple campuses, then that's totally fine, because that's their right to protest if the school allows it. I learned a long time ago I can barely make a change in my own country. Sadly, trying to do so in another is like pissing in the wind. Well, I think that really people should vote, and I wish that this is the problem, right? Is that we live in America, and I understand that people think that all the elections here are rigged and there's no point in voting. But imagine going and telling that to somebody who's in China, or telling that to somebody who's in Russia or North Korea. The truth is that we have such a tremendous and amazing privilege here in the U.S. and in a lot of Western countries to actually be able to decide who represents us. And the sooner that people know that, the sooner that I think that we'll have people that better represent us, which is why I believe all of the mainstream media that's owned by people who own the people that are in charge of the government are trying their absolute best to create a dichotomy between two people like Trump or Biden instead of actually providing real candidates with real solutions. I don't think that's happened. I think it's intentional. Voting should be mandatory? Absolutely not. If somebody doesn't know what they're doing with the vote, I don't want them to vote. Why would you want somebody to vote? If they don't know what they're talking about and if they don't care about voting, why would you want them to vote? That doesn't even make sense. They'll just go in there and click random things. Mandatory voting has none of the above option on there? Maybe that would be okay then. Yeah, maybe that would be okay. Different countries charge a fee for not voting. Yeah, as long as you don't have to vote for somebody, I think it's okay. Yeah, I don't really have too much of an opinion on it. I just don't think you should be forced into one decision or another, right? But yeah, a lot of people have been upset about my take on this. And again, the reason why they're upset about it is because it's not happening to them. These are, again, people that want to co-opt your empathy and use it against you. And the moment you expect them to have any empathy for you, you are now a alt-right. You are now a white supremacist. You are now a fascist. You're now, a Zionist. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. But I do want to let you guys know, and I know a lot of you guys are expecting to stream it. Yeah. There's another one right there. crying about it on Twitter isn't going to make it any less true. You can make as many negative tweets and get mad at me for saying something. You do that as much as you want. I'm still going to say it. And so, yes, there have been a lot of people on Twitter canceling me, getting mad at me for this kind of stuff. And as I said, it's quite sad to see, because the truth is that I agree with them. I am also more pro-Palestine than Israel. I don't want to send Israel a fucking dime. I don't give a shit about them. They're on the other side of the world. I don't want to take our money. Like, what are we doing here? We take people's money through threat of force with taxes, and we send it over to some other fucking country in the Middle East? No, I don't want to do that. Absolutely not. Fuck off. You pay less because of it? If there is an argument that it is in our benefit to help Israel, it is in the benefit to America, I am open to hearing that argument, and I am willing to be convinced. But from everything that I have seen, I don't want to offer or help them at all beyond that extension.